morning, class. Today's lesson is lesson 44. We're working on measuring with a ruler. Now, if we were in class, obviously I'd hand out rulers today. But most of our assignments in our book have a ruler right next to it. And so you don't need a ruler on your own. Now, some of them will do. I will help you out with those. All right. So you might have a ruler at your desk, both centimeter side and the inch side. When we practice using both of these scales in our lesson, we'll measure length. Length is the measure of the distance between 2 points. On the next page, we'll show a centimeter scale and a millimeter scale. The words centa and milli are abbreviations cm and mm, respectively. All right, so here it is at the top of the page. Now there's 10 millimeters in every 1 centimeter. 20 millimeters equals 2 centimeters. 30 equals 3. 40 equals 4. So this arrow here could be measured 40 millimeters or 4 centimeters. And that's what this paragraph is talking about. Example number 1 we want to take a look at. The distance across the nickel is about 2 centimeters. So in your example, you can write this little nickel here. And the distance across it is 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters, how many millimeters? So if I go back up here to my little chart, 2 equals 20. Or you can just take it times 10. Centimeters times 10 equals millimeters, 20 millimeters. So let's say that the nickel was 5 centimeters. How many millimeters? 5 times 10 would be 50 millimeters. What if it was 7? 7 times 10 equals 70 millimeters. So it's always just times 10 or add a 0 to the end of it. Okay, what is the length of the rectangular box? Length is always across it horizontally. Okay, the width would always be going up and down. So now let's take a look at it in millimeters. 10, 20. Now we're going to count these little ones. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 millimeters. Centimeters and millimeters are pretty super easy. Now we want to move on to another way to measure things. Centimeters and millimeters are units of length in the International System of Units, which is sometimes called the metric system. Now this system is used all over the world. However, here in the United States, we don't always use it. The basic unit of length in the metric system is a meter. You might have a meter stick in your classroom. When you take a big step, you move about 1 meter. A centimeter is 1/100th of a meter, and a millimeter is 1/1000th of a meter. Units in the metric system are related by the number 10 times 100. Here comes the United States. Inches, feet, and yards and miles are not units in the metric system. These units of length are part of the U.S. customary system. Say it with me. U.S. customary system. Units in the U.S. customary system are not related by a number 10. Instead, 12 inches equals a foot. We need to memorize this. Inches, feet, 12. 3 feet equals a yard. And 5,280 feet, or 1,760 feet, equals a mile. Inches usually are not divided into tenths. Rather, they are divided into half, fourths, eighths, sixteenths, and so on. When we abbreviate the word inch or inches, we make sure to include a period in our abbreviation. We abbreviate inch or inches like this, IN period. Here we show a scale. So now if you look at the other side of your inch, you look at your other side of your ruler, you'd have these inches here. And in between they got these little ticks. Halfway in between would be 1/2. Notice they put it down here. This next little length here would be 1/4. 1/2, 3/4, and those in between that would be eighths. Now there are actually little tick marks in between those that are teeny. Those are 16ths, but very rarely do we ever measure something in 16ths unless it's pretty small. So here's a magnifying of just that area. You'd read it like this: 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. However, 2/8 is reduced to 1/4. 4/8 is reduced to 1/2, and 6/8 is reduced to 3/4. So we'd read like this: 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, 1/2, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8. Notice the ones we read were eighth were all odd. 1, 3, 5, 7. And then in between those, we would reduce these up here to fourths and halves. All right, so example number 3 says, how many inches long is this arrow? 1 inch, 2 inch, and that one right smack in the middle, you can always look back here to refer to, is a half. 2 1/2 inches. Now most abbreviations need a period after them. The metric system does not require that. Okay. Last example we have before we want to check out a few of the practice problems. A mangrove skipper butterfly, that's just a fancy butterfly, can have a wingspan of 2 3/4 inches. Is 2 3/4 closer to 2 or closer to 3? Now they're actually trying to round that. And so if it's bigger than a half, so let's look back. Here's my half, and here's my 3/4. So 3/4 we would round up. If it was 1/4, we would stay. So the butterfly, is it closer to 2 or closer to 3? It'll be closer to 3 inches. All right. Now if you would pull out your rulers, we don't have, you would measure these here. And the centimeter size hat is 30. So if you're looking at a ruler, if you have one at home, you'd look at the side that has 30. That's the centimeter side. Don't measure centimeters with inches. Inch side has 12. Centimeter sides had 30. But let's jump down to H, and let's see if we can't do this one. How many millimeters long is the nail? Millimeters, 10. Let's count them. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The nail is 15 millimeters. Okay? Now, how about we figure out the arrow? How long is the arrow? 10, 20, pretty close to 30 millimeters. Now, what if it was centimeters? Well, there's 10 millimeters in each centimeter, so this would be 1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeters. Let's go ahead and put that down. 1 1/2 centimeters. And 30 would be 3 centimeters. Okay, we can do this down here as well. We can mark on a ruler to which arrow is pointing. So this is less than 1. The J is pointing to right in the middle. What was right in the middle again? Remember, you can always look back here. Right in the middle was, 1/2. So J equals 1/2 inch, period. K. Alright, so it's past the 1, so we have a whole number. And it's 1, 2 little ticks. Let's go back and look. 2 little ticks. 1, 2 would be 1/4. So we'd have 1 1/4 inch. We're moving on. Now you can do this one a couple ways. It's past the 1, so your whole number is 1. You can count all the little ticks up, or you can count 1 back. Okay, 1 back from the next number, 1 back from the 2 would be 7/8. So you got to have the whole number. You're past the 1. 1 7/8 inches. The M. Count them with me. 1, 2, 3/8. 2 3/8. That was the M. And so now we're past the 3, so my whole number is 3 and 1 little tick, 1/8, 3 1/8. And the last one, count them with me, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. Remember, Mr. Bauer said no even numbers on the numerators. 6/8 would equal 3/4. So our O is 3 3/4 inch. Alright guys, check mine over, check yours over. Make sure you have it set. Measuring with centimeters, so you use the 30, the side of the ruler that has 30 little numbers on it. Measuring with inches, you'd have 12. Remember, there are 10 millimeters in a centimeter, and then inches we count up by eighths, 1/8, then 1/4, 3/8, 1/2, 5/8, 3/4, and 7/8. God bless your day.